Right now at 5, a routine trip home ends in tragedy when a neighbor shoots an elderly woman over a parking issue.
And our weather much calmer to start this work week. Storm chances a little later. We'll talk about it in your forecast coming up.
Plus, firefighters use thermal drone technology to battle a house fire in Webb City.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Monday, April the 6th. Happy Monday to everybody. Hopefully you had a good weekend, good Easter, and hopefully you stayed safe on Friday. I know it didn't get too terribly intense, but we did have some rough storms, and we had that last one that passed through the Joplin area. I don't remember, sometime after 11 o'clock Friday night. And that one was one that, we're actually still reviewing on our end. Austin Stantz and I are to see exactly what we saw from our Cornell camera in downtown Joplin. But still, a very busy night indeed Friday. Much calmer, though, through the weekend. Much calmer today as well to get this work week started. Let's start with a live look from our Westco camera. That's the wrong thing up there, but you know where this is. This is the Westco camera at 7th and 8th. No. Anyway, it's calm out there. KDOT camera 69 and 400 looking pretty good this morning, and the MoDOT camera 32nd and range line looking pretty good as well. Progressively, I think this week I'm going to work on catching up on some of that sleep because, I know some of you folks probably doing the same still, like depending on how late you were up, probably catching up still on some of that sleep because it was, again, busy night Friday night. We're a little colder though, 39 in both Joplin and Pittsburgh. Temperatures around the area, again, one of my favorite shades of blue. It just unfortunately also means cooler temperatures. We got some 30s and 40s, so 36 in Jay. That looks to be our cold spot at the moment. Yates Center, though, one of the warmer spots. 42, so with Nevada, but it is Chanute that is the warm spot at 43. You see this little swirl right over northeast Oklahoma on the future track? That is a high pressure system. It will eventually begin to exit the area, but it is going to leave us with calm and quiet conditions as we head through the day today, and a light and variable breeze, or in many cases a calm breeze if you're close enough to that. So again, an absolutely great day out there. Kids off to school this morning. Upper 30s, we'll go mid 60s by lunch and recess, about 70 as they head back home. 50 by 9, again mid 60s by lunchtime, and highs today upper 60s, low 70s. Winds will be calmer, again light and variable across the area. So yeah, much calmer, nicer day. We're going to continue with the mild temperatures. We do have some additional shower and storm chances later this week. We're going to break that down for you in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. A Missouri grandmother was shot and killed in St. Louis, Missouri. Police say the shooting happened after the woman's grandson backed into a nearby car. Jordan Burrell spoke to the grandson about his loss.
Her getting hit was like, it wasn't really, it shouldn't happen.
What started as a routine trip to the corner store and back ended in tragedy for Markel McCurry.
I really didn't have no father, so her and my mom really taught me how to try their best to teach me to be the best man I can be.
Markel says Shirley Johnson wasn't just his grandmother, she was his foundation.
My mom passed, so it was just me and her. So overall, she just meant everything to me, honestly. Like it's my best friend.
Markel says around 9 p.m. Tuesday, he was dropping his grandmother off in front of her home on Cote Brilliant. Her neighbor, Jamal Jones, told police he saw Markel back into his vehicle as he parked. That's when they heard a gunshot.
We heard a shot, pow! And I didn't realize she was shot.
Markel tells me what happened next was shocking.
I'm saying, like, show me where I hit. If you come down here and show me. So as me and him still had a conversation, I go look around. I'm still talking. I look around. Now I see blood coming from her body. So I'm in shock. I'm in awe.
St. Louis City Police say Jones admitted to firing the shot, saying he would have rather shot Markel than his grandmother.
If it don't have to result in shooting anybody or killing anyone, we need to find ways to resolve situations.
In his grief, Markel admits to getting into a fight with Jamal Jones. He says he restrained him until officers arrived.
I appreciate it when they call me a hero for it, but like I said, I appreciate it. But I don't feel like I saved the day. Saving a superhero saved the day. I wasn't a big enough superhero for not just somebody random for my grandmother.
Now his grandmother is gone, and he's left to process a pain that doesn't feel real.
She always texts me every time she cook. I'm cooking today, baby. Every time. Every time. So I know I'm never gonna get them text messages. It hasn't really set in. We don't always have to shoot first, then talk later, when it should be talk first, then talk again.
Emergency services responded to reports of a house fire across from the First Baptist Church in Webb City over the weekend. Firefighters knocked down the flames quickly and learned no one was inside. They utilized a drone with thermal capabilities, showing firefighters where hotspots remained. Due to extensive damage, the homeowner is now displaced. Well, Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe will sign 3 new bills into law tomorrow at the state capitol. Senate Bill 888 will address juveniles accused of crimes and detention procedures. House Bill 1908 will allow courts to grant divorces to pregnant women. And House Bill 2273 will let prosecutors get help from the Attorney General for online exploitation cases that cross multiple jurisdictions. Today is the last day for no-excuse early voting for Missouri's April 7th election. This is the general municipal election date for Missouri. All southwest Missouri counties will have items on the ballot. They'll range from propositions to city council seats to mayoral elections. If you want to participate in no-excuse absentee voting, check the hours with your local county clerk's office. Well, the Disney Pixar movie Cars is celebrating its 20th anniversary. A celebration took place on Route 66 that included some special guests. KOAM's Mitch Adams made a pit stop in Galena to tell us more.
In 2006, an animated movie hit theaters that still has an impact on the youth today. 20 years has passed since the release of Disney Pixar's Cars, but its relevance lives on, especially for those near Route 66. A celebration at Luigi's Pit Stop in Galena marked the impact the film has had on the historic stretch of road.
It turned on people, especially the youth, all over the world. And they've come to learn about preservation and about America before it became generic.
Michael Wallace, a Route 66 historian, author, and journalist, voiced the sheriff of Radiator Springs in the movie. He says that what the film has done for Route 66 is something truly special.
It made me ecstatic with joy to see what it's done for the road, and especially the people who still earn livings on the Mother Road.
The celebration includes a car show, music, and an opportunity for the kids to become one of the sheriff's deputies. Wallace wanted to remind the community to appreciate the history that gets us from one place to another.
Everybody remember, this is the 100th anniversary year of Route 66. So everybody should get out and celebrate it. And the best is yet to come.
Reporting in Galena, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Other special guests attended the celebration this weekend, even including several other voice actors involved with the Cars films. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The famous Alcatraz tourist attraction could become a working prison again under Trump's budget plan. And rain chances returning this week. Chris has a look at your weekly forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, President Donald Trump is asking for $152 million to reopen Alcatraz as a federal prison. The request was part of the budget proposal the White House released on Friday. The notorious prison has been closed for more than 60 years due to crumbling infrastructure and high maintenance costs. It's located on an island off the coast of San Francisco and is now a popular tourist attraction. Trump first announced his plan to reopen the prison in a social media post last May. One day after the rescue of a U.S. airman behind enemy lines in Iran, what many are calling an Easter miracle, President Trump says Iran has just 48 hours to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, or will be in, quote, living hell. CBS News' Torrin Small has more.
President Trump took to social media again on Easter Sunday to issue a post that contained expletives, warning Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz or face a massive attack. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day. The president wrote, "You'll be living in hell, just watch," ending his post with "Praise be to Allah." In an interview with the Associated Press on Sunday, Iran's cultural minister dismissed the threats and called President Trump a, quote, unstable, delusional figure. The president's threats came hours after an announcement that the U.S. Special Operations Forces successfully rescued a U.S. airman shot down in Iran last week. The rescue of the Air Force colonel reportedly hiding in a mountain crevice in Iran is being hailed as an Easter miracle.
It's a hard lesson for Iran. First of all, they were not able to find the missing air crewman. Second, they put out a broad appeal to their people to turn him in, reward, asking for all kinds of leads. That does not appear to have been successful.
The rescue of this airman comes as the U.S. enters a 6th week of this conflict with Iran and as lawmakers continue to express concerns about the possibility of a ground war.
Well, certainly there is no circumstance where U.S. ground troops should be sent over to the Middle East. This war is already deeply unpopular for obvious reasons amongst the American people, and the American people are not going to accept ground troops being put into harm's way.
In his Easter speech, Pope Leo called for the faithful to keep their hope in the face of death, which lurks, quote, because of the violence of war that kills and destroys. The pontiff also announced a prayer vigil for peace to be held on April 11th. Torian Small, CBS News, Washington.
Still to come, rain chances returning this week. Chris has a look at your weekly forecast. Actor Michael B. Jordan steps into a new kind of movie role, and a television crossover event brings drama, fire, and America's pastime. Gwen Baumgarten has your Eye on Entertainment report.
It's a TV crossover that's guaranteed to get heated as Edgewater's firefighters and sheriff deputies duke it out on the baseball field.
What the hell, Leone? What was that, dude?
Cast members of Fire Country and Sheriff Country tease the episode's high-stakes plot.
A bunch of kids go missing on a school bus. We find the school bus, but the school bus has been blown up, and the kids are missing. Where'd they go?
Dun, 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 dun.
The teams must set aside their differences and work together to save lives. Watch the special 2-hour crossover event tonight on CBS and Paramount+. Drama is making its way to movie theaters across the country with the release of The Drama, starring Zendaya and Robert Pattinson, seen walking the red carpet ahead of the premiere.
What's the worst thing I've ever done?
Are you serious?
Watch one couple's wedding week go awry in this dark rom-com in theaters now. And Oscar winner Michael B. Jordan brings adventure and teamwork to his latest role in the Netflix family film Swapped.
Big dumb sack of feathers, come and get me, huh?
Jordan's character swaps bodies with his sworn enemy, and the two are forced to unite in order to survive the perils of the valley. Swapped heads to Netflix May 1st. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Looks like a little bit of everything for people to look forward to. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, and we don't have as much for you to look forward to, but we do have nicer weather today. Beautiful start to this new work week out there. Temperatures are going to start warming back up, and we are watching additional shower and thunderstorm chances increasing as we head toward the end of this week. We'll break down the details when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 521 coming up on 522 on this Monday morning. And we had, again, a busy Friday, especially to the afternoon and evening hours across the area. Today, not so busy. And again, you can see that swirl right here over northeastern Oklahoma. That is a high pressure system that is keeping our weather absolutely beautiful today, but it will begin to lift off to the north and east as we head in the afternoon and evening, and eventually it moves on away and things will begin to change gradually across the area. But at least today, not a bad day. Could have a cloud or two as we go overnight tonight, and eventually going partly cloudy as we head into our Tuesday. But again, otherwise a pretty nice day. A little bit breezy tomorrow, but not excessively so. Not like, again, what we saw last week, but definitely some gusty winds will be possible out of the south as we head into our Tuesday. Again, otherwise partly cloudy. We are partly cloudy Tuesday night into Wednesday. Now, here's the thing. The majority of Wednesday, in fact, as far out as this particular future track goes, is dry. We have the partly cloudy skies, maybe a bit on the breezy side, warm weather out there, still not looking too terribly bad, but we start to see shower chances, albeit a bit on the isolated side, Wednesday night into Thursday, but that's helping to set the stage for additional shower and thunderstorm chances as we head toward the end of this week. And again, right now, we don't have any risk areas highlighted. It's still pretty far out, but we are very closely monitoring this weekend. Again, really a Friday into Saturday at this point, possibly into Sunday, for the potential for additional strong to severe thunderstorms. Now, we started off March that way with strong severe thunderstorms, and we kind of almost wrapped up the month on the same note. So we are no doubt getting into the heart of severe weather season here in the 4 states over the next several days. It really, unfortunately, it's severe weather season. Over the next several weeks, you've really got to remain weather aware. Today, though, again, not bad. A little chilly out there to start, low 40s. We'll make the low 60s by 11 o'clock this morning, eventually with highs climbing into the upper 60s, low 70s under clear skies. Winds will be calm or light and variable, so nothing to worry about there. As we head into the evening, clear skies continue back down to the mid 50s by 10. And eventually, into about the mid-40s overnight tonight. We'll start to see southeast winds at about 5 to 10. Tomorrow, we'll have southerly winds at about 10 to 15 with some occasional gusts upwards of 20. Highs again right about 70. Temperatures will continue to increase, not significantly. It's not a huge jump, but we're going to start to see a lot more low 70s as we head through the week. Again, isolated shower to Wednesday night. Could get a few showers on Thursday, maybe into Friday morning. But again, it's this weekend specifically that we are watching very closely for the potential for severe weather. Now, this is something, believe it or not, that was actually showing up last week. Started showing up about Tuesday, Wednesday last week, but we didn't really focus too much on it because we had last Friday to get through first. But it is another day, or another set of days really, that we're keeping an eye on. So just make sure you're staying weather aware, and as we get closer, we'll keep you updated onto whatever the expectations are for the weekend. After that, though, a few isolated storms on Monday and next Wednesday, and temperatures next week start to climb again into the low 80s. That's Check Your Forecast. We're going to send it over to Samantha now with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Many people tend to fall into one of two categories, either strictly following food expiration dates or using the dates listed on packaging as a loose guide. But with rising grocery costs, is it important to follow those dates down to a T? Here's Mandy Gaither with today's Health Minute.
You can find them on granola bags, cereal boxes, and a whole host of products in your pantry. But how much weight do you put into food expiration dates?
It's ideal to know when that food is going to be best utilized by. Now, that's where it gets a little tricky. So that's just an estimate.
Registered dietitian Julia Zumpano with Cleveland Clinic says there are 3 kinds of food expiration dates. One is sell by, that tells the store how long they should display the item for sale. Then there's best by, or best if used by, which is when the product will have its best flavor and quality. Finally, we have used by, the last recommended day for the product to maintain peak quality.
Shelf-stable items are usually the ones that can exceed their dates. So looking at things like dried goods, like rice and pasta and cereal, canned fruits and vegetables, beans, things like that, usually are pretty safe.
Zumpano says to pay closer attention to expiration dates printed on perishable foods in the fridge like meat and dairy. That's where bacteria and mold are more likely to grow. She says to always use your senses. If you see mold, sliminess, or the color is off, toss it. If it smells off, sour, or moldy, throw it out. And if something doesn't taste right, get rid of it.
If it is past that date, using those senses, or, if you feel better just tossing it, you can. But the goal here is to reduce food waste.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Well, a Kansas City family is warning others to double-check their Easter candy after a shocking discovery. The family says they found something unexpected mixed in with their sweets, prompting a warning for parents for Easter. Alan Show reports.
Even though our kids are grown, we still like to spoil them.
Yeah, Easter is a pretty exciting time for the Huff family.
And every year we probably spend more than we should on making sure they each have the candy that they like.
She says the kids have aged out of the Easter egg hunt, but everybody loves a basket full of candy.
They're loved.
So on Friday, the couple went to a local store and bought candy to fill up those baskets, only to discover this.
I'm pouring the bag of candy out, and out comes a little capsule pill out of the bag.
Yep, they say this pill.
Instantly, I had him get a Ziploc bag.
She adds,
I'm very thankful that it happened to us because we don't have littles running around.
Somewhat shocked, they took the bag and the pill back to Sam's Club where they got it. She says Sam's Club gave them a full refund, and they did something else.
They pulled all the candy from the shelves right then and there.
The Huff family putting out a warning to other families to be careful when they open any candy this Easter.
I Googled it, and it said that it was an antidepressant pill. That's kind of scary to think that a little kid could have gotten a hold of that.
It's the second strange discovery in just a couple of weeks. A family finding a bag of fentanyl in the packaging of a Barbie doll at a Cargo Largo recently.
That's one of the first things that popped into my head.
We reached out to Sam's Club, but have not heard back yet. In the meantime, the family says Easter will go on as planned. They'll just keep an extra close eye on the candy when they fill up those eggs.
Just watch what your kids are putting their hands in.
That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, Joplin residents learn about a proposed agreement to protect air quality and water resources.
And a much calmer start to the day out there, bit on the chilly side as well. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, CBS Mornings features the Frontenac Public Library, built from a mysterious $4.6 million donation.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Monday, April the 6th. Happy Monday to everybody. Again, hopefully you had a good weekend, had a good Easter out there. Lots of candy, lots of other things. And of course, Friday night, hopefully you were all very weather aware as we had some strong severe thunderstorms. We had that one that rolled through again, Joplin. Gosh, I don't remember the time.
It was like after 11 p.m.
I was half awake when it happened. I was probably about 11:15, 11:20 when that storm rolled through. And of all the storms we had, that is the only one that they added the tornado possible tag to. And if you were up that late, then you saw what we were watching. Thankfully, didn't spawn anything significant, and it is considerably calmer today. Let's start with a live look from downtown Pittsburgh, and things are looking good. We have clear skies. Again, it is a bit on the chilly side out there this morning. There's some patchy light fog, at least it's what I encountered on the highway coming up here. Not a lot, and it's not showing up on the fog tracker, but still, do just watch out for little patchy fog spots here and there. Otherwise, again, not a bad start, just cool. All right. KDOT camera 69400 looking good. Quick stop over to the MoDOT camera 32nd in range line. Also looking good and quiet this morning. We're sitting at 39 in Joplin, 41 in Pittsburgh, and across the region. Temperatures look like this. We do have some cooler spots. Jay, for example, the cold spot there at 36, and Chanute still our warm spot sitting at 43. The rest of us, we got those upper 30s and low 40s to get the day underway. All right, on to the future track. By noon, you can see this little swirl right here over northeastern Oklahoma. That is a high pressure system, and it is going to eventually start to track off to the northeast. But with that high pressure, it keeps us calm, it keeps us quiet, it keeps us pretty clear. Even the winds are going to cooperate for us today, which will be quite nice. The kids out the door this morning, right around 40 degrees. We'll go about the mid-60s for lunch and recess. And as they head home, looking at temperatures right about 70 degrees. And of course, that's where our daytime temperatures are going. Clear skies, winds will be calm or maybe light and variable, so no major concerns there. About 50 by 9, and our highs eventually into the upper 60s and low 70s. The temperatures will continue to hang out in the 60s and 70s for a little while, and then we're watching additional shower and thunderstorm chances closer to the end of this week. We'll break down those details for you in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. A woman who turned 100 years old last July has been prepping Easter dinner over the past week, showing how staying active can help keep you thriving at any age. KOAM's Mitch Adams takes us inside her home for more.
In a small kitchen in Erie, Lucille Swan is already several steps ahead when it comes to Easter. Lucille just turned 100 in July, and she doesn't show plans of slowing down. She's made many different dishes for Easter dinner days before family even arrives.
I can do most anything, but I have to take it slow. So I've been preparing. I've made homemade noodles. I have made barbecue meatballs, brownies, Rice Krispie bars, and now then I'm just ready to make deviled eggs. So I try to get all of this done before everybody gets here.
Her routine is simple. Keep moving, keep cooking, keep connecting. Lucille says that staying active helps her feel better, physically and mentally.
I do not want to be one to sit in my chair all day long. If I do that, I think that's the end. So I have tried to keep busy, but I think it's very important to keep active. I can't do much, but I think it's very important to keep going.
Lucille Swan's Easter prep is more than a meal. It's a reminder that staying engaged can make all the difference, no matter your age.
I just live day to day, to the best of my ability, and I have no secret as to long life. I would not have ever dreamed that I would live to be this long, but as long as I am able to go, but I think you have to keep active.
Reporting in Erie, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Lucille continues to be an active member of the Erie community, driving her own car, visiting the local library, and spending time with friends. Well, the Joplin Sustainable Technology Alliance held a town hall meeting at the Joplin Public Library. Residents learned more about a proposed community benefits agreement related to the proposed Wildwood Ranch data center. Organizers say the agreement would create protections for air quality, water resources, and property values.
We basically just want to update the community of what we're doing with the fight, how we're moving forward with the development of Wildwood Ranch, and all the protections that we have in place, and basically just keep building momentum on this movement. We want to make sure people are still staying involved.
JSTA is also collecting signatures for a moratorium petition. July 18th is the signatures deadline to put the issue on the November ballot. Well, CBS Mornings aired its long-anticipated feature on the Frontenac Public Library as part of the USA to Z series. The segment featured community members from Frontenac who didn't even have a library until the city received a mysterious $4.6 million donation in 2019 before opening up in November 2025.
Seeing the community come together once more. That's why we built the library, is for it to serve as the community hub and bring everybody together, and that's exactly what it did this morning. We were coming together to celebrate Frontenac and our accomplishments of building our first library.
The library currently has more than 17,000 items as well as activities for several different age groups. In Pennsylvania, a boy's journey in overcoming stuttering is inspiring countless others on the internet. Lando may live with a stutter, but when he starts to sing, his voice flows perfectly. Nikki Adani reports.
Darling, stand by me. It's really nice to see the community come together to support Landon. The world just keeps wanting to see him perform and see his improvements as he goes and his journey and where it takes him. Stand by me. I'm Michelle, Stutter-Free Lando's mom, and we're here today to tell you guys about his journey with stuttering and singing. Don't you want me like I want you, baby? Don't you? So Landon has like a blocking. It's hard for him to get that first letter out when he talks. He's a very confident guy though and pushes through it and doesn't stop talking. It might just take him a little bit longer sometimes. So you can check him out on Instagram. Follow Stutter-Free Lando. He does have a TikTok too.
You just passed 50,000 followers on Instagram.
It has been amazing how people have
been so helpful. Makes me feel how fluent I can be. I hope other people that stutter, that they push through it.
He's here, he has lots of words to say, it just doesn't flow out as much as other people. So just bringing that awareness to everybody, teaching people how to be patient and what stuttering is like.
Amazing.
It's so amazing.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The Super Mario Galaxy movie dominates the box office with the biggest opening of the year. In Consumer Watch, The Power of the Mustache guides a film to the most successful opening so far this year. The Super Mario Galaxy movie took out all the competition during its debut, scarfing up $130.5 million this weekend domestically. Studio estimates show the movie also raked in $190.1 million in its first 5 days in North American theaters and pulled in $372.5 million globally. The film's earnings make it the biggest opening of the year for a Hollywood-produced movie. Meanwhile, coming in second at the domestic box office with $30.7 million was Project Hail Mary, and placing third was The Drama with $14.4 million. Well, the Internal Revenue Service says the average refund is up by more than 10% this filing season. The IRS says tens of millions of Americans have filed their 2025 taxes with an average refund amount of just under $3,600. More than 98% of filers had their funds issued via direct deposit, and more than 80% of refunds were issued within 21 days. April 15th is the deadline to file your 2025 tax return. Well, rising fuel prices are hitting more than just your drive to work. They're impacting what ends up on your plate. In Maine, oyster farmers say soaring diesel costs are cutting deep into their business, and it could soon mean higher prices for seafood.
We fuel up every single day, multiple times a day.
The price of diesel in Maine is exceeding the national average at this point. AAA says it's about $5.80 per gallon, but for those out on the water, they're eating those costs.
But just because fuel prices have doubled doesn't mean we can charge double for an oyster.
Kelly Punch is with Mere Oyster Company in Brunswick. On top of farming oysters, they offer tours for people to see what working in the industry is like. They refuel their boats every day, sometimes multiple times, as a day on the water can last 8 hours. They've considered switching to solar, but say the technology isn't quite ready yet for how long they need to run their engines.
Fuel is one of our biggest line items. It's right up there with labor.
And costs have trickled into other areas of their business, like the floating cages that grow oysters.
With fuel costs going up, so does plastic costs, and a lot of the floats are made of plastic.
Then fuel to deliver is also costly. All of it adds up, and Punch says they're used to the ups and downs that come with fuel and industry prices. What's making this particularly challenging is the fact that they can't predict when they will go back down, and they won't be able to absorb the costs forever.
Fish markets are feeling it, processors are feeling it, restaurants are feeling it. With the cost of our operations going up, eventually the cost of seafood will go up, the cost of all food will go up.
That's it for Consumer Watch, and now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we are looking at an absolutely beautiful day across the area. It really had a pretty decent weekend as well once we got past Friday. So we'll have those sunny skies. Temperatures starting to warm back up this weekend. We're watching for additional shower and thunderstorm chances as we head toward the end of this week. We're going to take a look at your forecast, talk about those warm temperatures right after this.
Farmers in the West often rely on snowmelt from the mountains to help them water their crops, but that could be a challenge this spring. Details in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Haley Bicklop with today's Ag Day Minute. Well, it's not the news that farmers in the West wanted to hear. The California Department of Water Resources just wrapped up its April snow survey, and surveyors found no measurable snow. Scientists say that it's an indicator of how much record hot March temperatures and high elevation rain has erased the Sierra Nevada snowpack months ahead of schedule. The April measurement is a critical marker for water managers across the state, as it is typically when the snowpack reaches its maximum volume and begins to melt. Well, statewide, the snowpack is now just 18% of average. Well, eggs could be headed back to school. The Trump administration officials recently meeting with ag industry groups at USDA. The American Egg Board says that it's investing $1 million in innovation, research, and partnerships to increase access to egg-based breakfast options in schools. The announcement comes as the new dietary guidelines place eggs at the top of the protein pyramid. And speaking of eggs, they're getting ready for the annual Easter egg roll at the White House on Monday. And all the eggs for this event, get this, are coming from the Braswell family farm in Nashville, North Carolina. The family is supplying 40,000 eggs for this event. The Braswells produce, process, and package the eggs. For more ag news, watch Ag Day weekdays on this station or get updates at agweb.com.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
And we've got ourselves a very nice couple of days out there. We're dry, we are warming up, we've got some sunshine, we've just got beautiful conditions. And today's beautiful conditions are courtesy a high pressure system that's going to be parked right about northeast Oklahoma by the lunch hour today. It will gradually, eventually begin to lift off east northeast-ish out there, and that won't have a significant impact on us in the beginning by any means, but yeah, it's got beautiful weather in store for us. Clear skies out there. Could have a cloud or two. Same overnight tonight, but as we get into tomorrow, that's where we're going to start to go partly cloudy, and the winds do pick up a smidge out of the south with occasional gusts upwards of about 20 miles an hour. So again, not any kind of thing, extreme winds or anything like what we saw last week or what we've seen here within the last month, but still a smidge on the breezy side and still on the warm side as well. Doing all right. Temperatures still being pretty good to us as we roll into our Wednesday, starting with those partly cloudy skies again. And it'll be partly cloudy throughout the day on Wednesday. Could even get some clearing, and it'll be a bit breezier. By Wednesday, we'll get those south winds maybe ramping up just a bit across the area, so be prepared for that. But otherwise, we'll remain dry. In fact, this future track running through at least 5 o'clock Wednesday, there's not much to show. But by late Wednesday, heading into the weekend, we start to see opportunities for some showers and perhaps even a thunderstorm or two. As you can see, it is going to be very late Wednesday, possibly even early Thursday before we start to see any shower chances. So let's talk about today. Clear skies out there, looking good from 32nd and range line. We're going to be right around the low 40s by 8, pushing into the low 60s by 11 o'clock this morning. Into the afternoon, skies are still clear. This is the calmest weather we've had in a while. It's been a minute since I've had something to not talk about. Unfortunately, this is a brief break. I want to mention that. It is a brief break. Shower and storm chances will make a return. Otherwise today, upper 60s, low 70s. Winds will be calm or light and variable. They'll be out of the southeast tonight at about 5 to 10. Clear skies, still mid 50s by 10. And they're right around the mid 40s overnight tonight. Again, could get a cloud or two, but otherwise a pretty nice night out there. Now, we go into tomorrow. Again, still not bad. About 70, low 70s as we head through the week. Late evening showers, possibly as early, leading into very early Thursday morning. A few showers on Thursday, continuing into Friday morning. And then this weekend. Now, this started showing up probably, I want to say Tuesday or Wednesday of last week, looking at long-range data for the potential for the return of strong to severe thunderstorms for this weekend. But we didn't talk about it a lot because we already had last Friday to deal with, and that was kind of our focus. We are still several days out, but it's been showing up. It's been pretty consistent. We are keeping an eye on it. We do not have any severe risk areas highlighted this far out, and that's really far out, unless there was super good agreement in the long-range data that a severe event was going to take place. It's unlikely we're going to see any risk areas highlighted probably until about Wednesday or Thursday, but it is something you need to be weather aware about. We need to be paying close attention to this upcoming weekend because we're diving into the heart of severe weather season here in the 4 states, and it's already been a bit of a bumpy start, so we want to make sure we're paying attention to that. A few shower storms lingering possibly into Monday. Temperatures next week, though, begin to climb into the low 80s. That is a check of your forecast. We are back with more right after this.
A group of middle school students have worked for months to make a dream trip possible for an Arizona veteran. 7th and 8th graders at Legacy Traditional School welcome 96-year-old Korean War veteran John Karlstrom. The students raised $2,200 through school events to send him on an honor flight, giving veterans a chance to visit Washington, D.C. and honor their fallen comrades. The Honor Flight Network has flown more than 300,000 veterans over the year.
Of course, the Honor Flight, a very big deal. I know there's a lot of local events that help to sponsor that as well. It's always great to be able to send them up there. And I mean, they're extraordinarily deserving of such a thing. They're deserving of a lot more, too, than what we can ever give them. And the best I can do right now from where I'm at is try and give you some good weather. And this is, again, really for everyone. And again, after Friday night, we needed that break, and we've got it. We're going to have clear skies today. Low 40s to start. Again, low 60s by 11 o'clock this morning. Nice mild day, upper 60s, low 70s, thanks to a high pressure parked right over us as we head into the afternoon hours. We'll have calm or light and variable winds, and that's also what's giving us such a beautiful day. Clear skies continue, perhaps a cloud or two back into the mid 50s by 10 o'clock, mid 40s overnight, southeast winds 5 to 10, and again, perhaps a cloud or two. We'll start to go partly cloudy tomorrow, about 70, low 70s, heading into Friday. A few showers late Wednesday, Thursday, maybe early Friday, but again, we are watching this weekend because we do have that possibility. Well, that wasn't supposed to do that, but that's okay. There we are. We do have the possibility for those strong to severe thunderstorms this weekend. As I mentioned, this has been showing up since last week, probably since about last Wednesday at the earliest, and we just didn't put a lot of focus on it because we had Friday to get through. But you need to stay weather aware as we head into this upcoming weekend, and then not looking too bad beyond that. Let's check your forecast. We'll be back with more right after this.